Captain Ronan stood at the bridge of his starship, the horizon, staring at the empty stretch of space before him. The nebula ahead was dark and swirling, a storm of gas and light that seemed alive. His ship's instruments hummed quietly, tracking distant stars and detecting signals. Suddenly, the calm was broken by a sharp alert. A faint distress signal had appeared, coming from a region no human ship had ever explored. The message repeated itself in a looping pattern, almost like a cry for help, though it was faint and broken. "Captain, this signal is unusual," said Myra, his communications officer. "It doesn't match any known frequency. It's melodic." Ronan frowned. Melodic. He leaned closer to the console. The signal was soft, almost like a song. It had notes that rose and fell, weaving in a pattern that seemed too structured to be random. "Play it again," he said. The sound filled the bridge, gentle but strange, stirring something deep in the crew's minds. The crew exchanged nervous glances. The stories were well known among spacefarers. Nebula 7 was dangerous. Several ships had gone missing there. No one knew what caused the disappearances, but rumors spoke of strange phenomena and alien creatures. Some even whispered about the Siren of the stars, a being that lured ships to destruction with its song. Most dismissed it as a myth, but legends had a way of warning those who were careless. Ronan felt a shiver run down his spine, but curiosity outweighed fear. "Set a course," he said. "We need to find the source. If someone is in danger, it's our duty to help." "Captain," said the helmsman, trying to mask his worry. As the horizon entered the nebula, the colors of the gas clouds shifted and danced around them. The ship's lights reflected off the mist, creating patterns that looked like shadows moving through the fog. The melodic signal continued, now clearer, as if guiding them deeper into the heart of the nebula. The crew felt a strange calm, almost hypnotized, by the gentle tune. "Captain," said Myra, her voice quiet, "I think the song is affecting the ship's systems. Navigation sensors are fluctuating slightly, and the engine output is changing without input." Ronan frowned and stood straight. "Stay focused. This could be an effect of the nebula itself. We cannot let our judgment falter." He moved to the main console, manually adjusting the ship's course to counter the minor shifts. He noticed the song had a rhythm, rising and falling like the pulse of a living being. It was mesmerizing, yet Ronan fought the urge to lose himself in it. He could not let the crew fall under its influence. Hours passed as they ventured further into the swirling clouds. Visibility was low, but the instruments tracked faint energy readings ahead. Then, a figure appeared through the mist. At first, it was only a shimmer of light, soft and undulating. As the ship drew closer, the figure became clearer. It was a young woman, floating within the nebula, her hair and clothing moving gently with the currents of gas. She was beautiful, but her presence was alien, unlike anything Ronan had seen before. Her eyes opened, and Ronan felt an odd sensation. The melody grew louder, yet softer, more personal. It was as if she was speaking directly to him. The crew felt it too, a strange tug at their emotions, a call that was hard to resist. Ronan shook his head. "Maintain your stations," he ordered firmly. "Do not approach her without caution." The young woman raised a hand, not threatening, but curious. The song shifted slightly, as though she sensed their fear and wanted to calm it. Myra tried to communicate, sending a simple greeting through the ship's external speakers. The woman tilted her head, listening, then responded with a melody that seemed to answer the greeting. The notes were soft, flowing, and full of emotion. The crew realized she was intelligent, capable of understanding and responding. Ronan studied her carefully. "She is not attacking us," he said, "but we cannot trust this entirely. Prepare defensive measures, just in case." The ship drifted closer, guided by the strange connection the melody created. Ronan noticed patterns in her song, small shifts that seemed like questions or invitations. He tried to respond through the ship's communication system, but the usual voice tones were ineffective. Only melody seemed to reach her. "Captain, she is observing us," said Myra. "I think she is lonely." Ronan considered this. A creature powerful enough to affect human minds with a song could be dangerous, yet her tone was gentle, not malicious. "We must be careful," he said. "Loneliness does not excuse harm, but we also cannot assume she intends to attack. Let's see if we can establish trust." The crew watched in silence as the figure floated gracefully, the nebula's light reflecting from her skin and hair. Her eyes held centuries of solitude, and the song she sang felt like a story. Ronan felt a mix of awe and concern. He understood that they were not dealing with a simple life form. This being was extraordinary, possibly one of the most unique creatures humans had ever encountered. Suddenly, a distant energy spike flashed on the sensors. The remains of a small ship appeared nearby, half destroyed, drifting silently. It was clear the previous crew had not survived. The melody changed, becoming sadder, almost apologetic. The alien woman noticed Ronan observing the wreckage. Her song softened further, as if she was mourning the loss. Ronan felt a pang of sympathy, but he reminded himself of the risk. "She did not intend this," he said. "We cannot blame her, but we must understand her fully before we proceed." As the horizon moved closer, the nebula seemed to react to their presence. Lights and colors shifted, and the melody wrapped around them like a gentle wind. Ronan realized they were entering the heart of the nebula, where the being's power was strongest. The signal that had drawn them here was not just a call for help. It was a beacon, a communication, and possibly a trap. The captain took a deep breath. "Prepare for close contact. We approach with caution, but also with respect. This may be the first time humans meet a creature of this kind, and our actions will matter." The alien woman floated silently, her song now a soft lullaby that reached each crew member personally. It was a voice of sadness and curiosity, longing and hope. Ronan felt a strange connection, as if understanding was possible despite the vast differences between them. The bridge grew quiet, each crew member listening, feeling the pull of the song but resisting it. Ronan's eyes never left her. He knew that the next moments could decide the fate of their mission, the safety of his crew, and perhaps the future of humans encountering this mysterious being. Ronan spoke quietly, almost to himself, "We will not harm you. We want to understand." "That must be enough for now." The alien woman tilted her head again, as if she heard him. The lullaby shifted slightly, acknowledging the words without sound. The horizon moved closer, careful and deliberate, as the first true contact between human and the mysterious Siren began. The horizon drifted closer to the luminous figure in the nebula. Captain Ronan's heart beat steadily, but the crew could feel the tension in the air. The strange lullaby continued, wrapping around them like a gentle current. The notes seemed to shift when anyone moved, almost as if the being knew their thoughts. Ronan held his ground, carefully observing, determined to maintain control. "Captain, sensors show no weapons, no dangerous energy fields," said Myra, her eyes wide. "But her song, it is affecting our perception. I feel lighter, calmer, as if all fear is slipping away." Ronan nodded, understanding. "That is why we must stay alert. Calm does not mean safe. She could be powerful beyond what we know." The figure's glow intensified, and the mist around her shimmered. Slowly, she floated closer to the ship. Ronan noticed her eyes were a pale teal, filled with curiosity and caution. Her hair floated like soft tendrils, swaying gently with the nebula's currents. Her skin seemed almost translucent, catching the colors of the nebula as if she were part of it. "Open external comms," Ronan ordered. "Let's try simple greetings. Keep the voice calm and neutral." The ship's speakers crackled, Then a soft voice said, "We are travelers. We mean no harm. Please, can you understand us?" For a moment, there was no reply. Then the lullaby shifted. It was slower, softer, almost like a whisper of understanding. The crew felt a sense of reassurance, as though the being acknowledged their words. Ronan sensed intelligence, something deeply aware and observant. "Captain," said Myra, "she is responding. Not with words, but with changes in her song. I think she is, listening, learning." Ronan nodded. "Then we continue carefully. Keep shields at low power, but maintain defensive readiness. We must be ready for anything." The figure drifted closer to the ship's outer hull, stopping at a distance that felt deliberate. The nebula's mist curled around her, forming patterns of color and light that shifted with her movements. It was mesmerizing. The lullaby became more distinct, almost like words sung in a secret language, impossible for humans to understand fully, yet meaningful in feeling. Ronan took a deep breath. "I will try to communicate directly," he said. He stepped forward to the main console, initiating a small drone from the ship. The drone, equipped with sensors and cameras, moved slowly toward her. The alien woman watched the small craft with fascination. The lullaby adjusted, softer now, as if she were speaking gently to the drone. Its sensors recorded the changes in melody, translating vibrations into data for the crew. Myra's fingers flew over the controls, analyzing every note. "Captain, her song carries information. It is intelligent. She is conveying patterns and emotions at the same time." Ronan's eyes narrowed. "So she is not only aware of us, she is teaching us about herself." The drone moved closer, and the alien woman extended a hand. Light shimmered from her fingertips, touching the drone gently. The lullaby changed again, and the crew watched as the readings shifted. Energy levels rose and fell rhythmically, as if the nebula itself was responding to her touch. "She is not hostile," Myra said quietly. "She may be curious, but not dangerous in this moment." Ronan exhaled slowly. "Good. We continue with caution. We need to learn from her, understand her, and earn her trust." For the next several hours, the crew observed her, documenting movements, analyzing the song, and trying to find a pattern in her communication. Ronan noticed that she reacted to human behavior with subtle shifts in tone and rhythm. She was intelligent, adaptive, and aware of the consequences of her actions. Suddenly, the ship shuddered. The melodic signal pulsed strongly, sending ripples through the hull. The lights flickered, and the ship's instruments showed spikes in energy. Ronan grabbed the controls, stabilizing the vessel. "What is happening?" he asked, though he already suspected. "The song is amplifying because of our proximity," Myra explained. "It reacts to our presence. She is testing us, perhaps." Ronan nodded. "Then we remain calm. Do not provoke her. Observe and respond gently." The alien woman floated closer, her eyes meeting Ronan's. There was a strange connection, a silent understanding that passed between them. The lullaby slowed, almost like she was waiting for a reply. Ronan felt a strange urge to respond, not with words, but with calm intention. He placed a hand over his heart and spoke softly, "We wish to understand. We do not wish to harm you." The lullaby shifted in response, and the crew felt a warm, soothing wave of sound wash over them. Fear faded, replaced by a sense of peace. The alien woman tilted her head slightly, her expression softening. For the first time, Ronan saw a hint of trust in her eyes. "She may accept us," Myra said, amazed. "Or at least, she is not rejecting our presence." Ronan allowed himself a small smile. "This is progress. We must continue gently, step by step. The moment we push too fast, we risk losing this fragile connection." Over the next hours, Ronan and the crew worked on basic communication. Using the ship's instruments, they translated elements of her song into patterns and simple signals. They discovered that she could convey simple concepts through melody, curiosity, caution, sadness, and even questions. At one point, the alien woman seemed to point toward the remnants of another ship drifting nearby. The crew realized she was showing them evidence of past disasters. The melody grew somber, almost mournful. Ronan understood that she was aware of the danger she had unintentionally caused. She did not want this, Ronan said quietly, speaking to the crew. She is aware of the consequences of her song. She is not a predator, she is a guardian of this place, a being of immense power that does not yet know how to control it. Myra nodded. We need to help her, Captain. If she can learn to guide rather than harm, the nebula could become safe for future travelers. Ronan felt a sense of determination. Then that will be our mission. We protect her, guide her, and learn from her. Humanity can achieve great things when we approach the unknown with understanding rather than fear. The alien woman floated closer, the lullaby now gentle and melodic, inviting rather than warning. Ronan knew that the first true contact had been made. Trust was fragile, but it had begun. The Horizon and its crew were no longer just observers, they were participants in something larger, a connection that could change the future of humans and this mysterious being alike. As the ship settled near her, the nebula glowing around them in soft shades of teal and gold, Ronan whispered, "We are here to help. We will not turn away." The alien woman's eyes reflected the light of the nebula, and her song carried a single clear note of acknowledgement. It was the beginning of a fragile friendship, the first step in a journey that could unite humanity with a being more wondrous than any legend had ever described. The horizon remained still, bathed in the nebula's colors, while the lullaby filled the space around them. Ronan felt hope, curiosity, and a quiet awe. This encounter would define their mission, challenge their courage, and show the power of understanding when two worlds met for the first time. The horizon floated silently in the glowing nebula, the alien woman's lullaby wrapping around the ship like a soft wind. Captain Ronan and his crew had spent hours observing her, trying to understand her power and intentions. While her song was gentle, there was a hint of danger hidden in its beauty. "Captain," said Myra, pointing to the sensor readouts, "there are remnants of ships nearby. Not just debris, but hulls that have been completely destroyed. Energy readings show catastrophic failures, like they were pulled off course and struck objects or suffered system overloads." Ronan studied the images on the main console. Broken ships floated in the nebula, twisted and lifeless, surrounded by soft clouds of gas that reflected the nebula's light. The realization hit him hard. These were all real crews, he said quietly. They didn't vanish by accident. Someone drew them here. The lullaby shifted, almost mournful now, and the alien woman floated closer to the ship. Her eyes were calm, yet there was a subtle sadness in them. Ronan felt that she knew they were watching her. "It is not her intention," he whispered to Myra. "Her song is powerful, but she is not trying to destroy. She may not even realize the effect it has on ships." Myra nodded. "Her melody seems natural to her. Maybe she uses it to communicate or to feel less lonely. The destruction might be a side effect, not a choice." Ronan leaned forward, analyzing the patterns in her song. "Then our job is to show her the consequences. We need to help her understand without making her feel attacked. This is delicate. One wrong step could make her flee or react defensively." As the crew studied her, the alien woman drifted toward the nearest wreckage. Her lullaby changed subtly, soft notes hovering over the twisted metal. Myra adjusted the sensors and realized the song was somehow analyzing the debris, almost like she was trying to learn from it. "She is aware of the damage," Myra said softly. "She is not careless. She is trying to understand it herself." Ronan nodded. "We need to show her that humans can be allies, not enemies. If she trusts us, we might guide her to control her abilities. The captain decided to send a small exploration team outside the ship in protective suits. Ronan led the team, stepping carefully through the low-gravity zone around the nearest wreck. The alien woman observed silently, her lullaby calming the crew's nerves as they approached the twisted metal. "Look at this," said Myra, pointing to markings on the hull. This ship's navigation system failed entirely. Something about her song interfered with the electronics. It wasn't malicious, but it caused a total system collapse. Ronan examined the wreck. The energy patterns matched the shifts in the alien woman's melody. He realized that when the lullaby hit certain frequencies, it could disrupt electronic systems unintentionally. "She doesn't know the effect she has," he said. "This is why we must help her. Left alone, more ships will be lost." The alien woman floated closer, her eyes curious. She reached out her hand, and the lullaby shifted, almost questioning. Ronan understood that she wanted to connect, to communicate, but needed guidance. He stepped forward slowly. "We are not here to harm you," he said. "We want to help you understand your power, so no one else is hurt." Her eyes brightened slightly, and the melody softened. It was an acknowledgement, a tentative agreement. Ronan felt a sense of hope. They had reached the first stage of understanding. Back on the ship, the crew worked to map the effects of her song. Using the data from the wreck, Myra created simulations showing how her melodies could affect starship systems. They realized that certain tones were harmless, while others could unintentionally cause ships to drift or fail. "Captain, if we can teach her to control the dangerous frequencies, she could guide ships safely instead of causing accidents," Myra explained. Ronan smiled. "That is exactly what we will do. Humanity's strength lies in understanding, in teaching, and learning. We will show her how to turn her gift into something beneficial." Over the next few hours, Ronan and the crew began experimenting with communication. Using instruments that converted parts of her song into visual signals, they created a simple feedback system. The alien woman seemed to understand. She adjusted her melodies in response, and small successes showed that she could learn to control her power. At one point, the ship's instruments detected a sudden spike of energy from the nebula. A smaller wrecked vessel floated nearby, its systems completely offline. The alien woman's lullaby intensified, soft yet urgent. She moved toward the wreck, extending her hands. Ronan noticed her trying to stabilize the energy around it, though she lacked the skill to fully succeed. "She is trying to help," Myra said. "She doesn't want this to happen. She feels responsible." Ronan nodded. "Exactly. She is not a siren of death. She is a guardian who does not yet know her own strength." Carefully, Ronan guided her, showing her through visual cues how to adjust the pitch and rhythm of her song to avoid further damage. The lullaby shifted again, slower and more controlled. The readings stabilized. For the first time, the ship's instruments recorded no interference in the vicinity. The alien woman paused, watching the crew with what seemed like gratitude. Her song now carried a soft, warm tone, like a human lullaby of reassurance. Ronan realized that she was learning, not just imitating, but understanding the purpose of her power. "We are making progress," he said. "But this is just the beginning. She is powerful, and the nebula is vast. We must continue patiently." Ronan also realized that there was a connection forming between humans and this being. It was not just about avoiding harm, it was about understanding one another. Humanity's ability to observe, analyze, and guide made the difference. Through patience and empathy, they were bridging the gap between species. As the day ended, the alien woman floated beside the ship, her song calmer now, a melody of trust and curiosity. The crew felt relief, and Ronan knew that despite the danger, they had achieved the first real step toward harmony. "This is our chance," he said quietly. We will show her that humans can be allies, not threats. Together, we can turn the legend of the Siren from fear into hope. The nebula glowed around them, waves of light and color reflecting from the alien woman's form. The wrecked ships floated silently, reminders of the past, but also evidence of the power of understanding and patience. Ronan looked at his crew, knowing that this mission would test them in ways they had never imagined, but also show the greatness of humanity when faced with the unknown. The lullaby continued, softer now, almost gentle as the nebula shifted in response. Ronan felt a quiet pride. Humanity had reached out, not with weapons, but with respect and intelligence. They were learning from the alien woman, and she was learning from them. It was a fragile balance, but one that could change the future of both species. The horizon rested gently in the center of the nebula, its hull bathed in the soft teal and gold glow of swirling gases. Captain Ronan sat at the bridge, watching the alien woman float near the ship. Her song had grown calmer, no longer carrying the subtle danger that had disrupted earlier ships. The lullaby now seemed like a bridge, connecting the crew to something beyond words. She seems more aware, Myra said quietly, studying the readings on her console. Her melody responds to our actions. It changes with our presence, but it no longer interferes with the ship's systems. Ronan nodded. Good. That means she is learning. Or perhaps she is choosing to learn. Either way, we need to build on this trust. The alien woman floated closer to the ship, her pale teal eyes reflecting the nebula's light. She tilted her head, watching the crew carefully. Her song softened, shifting in a pattern that felt almost like a question. Ronan understood instinctively, she wanted to know who they were, what they intended, and if she could trust them. We should try to show her something about humans, Ronan said. Not just words or instruments, but actions. Maybe gestures, small offerings of trust. Myra smiled. I can prepare a simple display. Colors, movements, patterns, something she can see and relate to. Within minutes, the crew set up a holographic display on the observation deck. Lights danced across the space, forming patterns that shifted in harmony with the alien woman's song. Slowly, she responded, her lullaby merging with the display. The colors reflected in her skin and eyes, and for the first time, Ronan saw a smile, a faint curve of her lips, tentative but real. She understands, Myra whispered. She is participating. This is remarkable. Ronan approached the observation window, watching the alien woman float and interact with the lights. She is curious about us, he said. Curiosity is the first step toward connection. Hours passed as they continued the interaction. The alien woman experimented with the lights, guiding their patterns with subtle changes in her song. The crew realized she was learning the concept of cooperation, adjusting her power to achieve a shared result rather than letting it act uncontrolled. Ronan felt a sense of pride. Humanity's ability to communicate, teach, and learn had turned a dangerous encounter into a moment of discovery. After a long period of observation and interaction, the alien woman drifted closer to the ship's hull. Her eyes met Ronan's, and her lullaby carried a gentle warmth. She seemed to be inviting him, asking him to take a step closer, not in aggression, but in trust. Ronan hesitated for a moment, remembering the wrecks of previous ships and the power she held. Then he took a deep breath and extended his hand toward the observation window. Slowly, the alien woman mirrored the gesture on the other side. Their hands aligned, separated only by the thin barrier of the hull. A pulse of harmony ran through the ship as her song responded to his intention. She is acknowledging you, Myra said, her voice filled with awe. She trusts you, Captain. Ronan nodded, feeling a weight lift from his shoulders. This was more than just survival. This was the beginning of a bond, fragile but real, between species separated by centuries of evolution and distance. The alien woman drifted back slightly, observing the crew. She began experimenting with small movements, creating waves in the nebula's gases with her gestures. Ronan noticed that the patterns of light reflected in her song, almost like she was painting the air with sound and color. Myra quickly adjusted the sensors to capture the interaction, translating the patterns into data the crew could study. "Captain, she is expressing herself," Myra said. "This is communication, not just instinct. She is teaching us her language in a way we can understand." Ronan smiled. "And we are responding. This is how trust works. We act with respect, and she mirrors that respect. This is how humanity can reach beyond fear and misunderstanding." The alien woman's lullaby shifted, carrying notes of curiosity and cautious joy. Ronan realized she was beginning to understand human emotion, at least in part. She watched them as they worked together, learning from their actions, and adjusting her song accordingly. After several hours, Ronan decided to try another approach. "We need to show her more than lights and gestures. We need to show her our intentions, our values. Humanity is capable of kindness, courage, and cooperation. We must demonstrate that." He instructed the crew to prepare a small display of their ship's supplies: food, water, tools, simple items that could symbolize goodwill. The alien woman watched carefully as the crew arranged the items in patterns visible from the hull. Then, they added a visual representation of teamwork, coordinated movements, rotations, and light signals that mirrored her gestures. The alien woman's song responded immediately. The lullaby became richer, more layered, blending with the visuals. She moved closer, her body reflecting the patterns and colors, and for the first time, the crew felt a sense of joy emanating from her presence. It was not fear or curiosity they were witnessing, her happiness. "She is learning about us," Myra said. "She sees our actions, understands our intentions, and she is responding positively. This is remarkable." Ronan nodded, feeling a deep sense of achievement. "We are proving that humans can approach the unknown with respect and empathy. This is the essence of humanity's strength." As the hours passed, the bond grew stronger. The alien woman experimented with new melodies, and the crew responded with matching patterns of light and movement. Each interaction built trust, each note and gesture reinforcing the connection. Ronan realized that they were no longer just observers, they were participants in a living conversation that transcended language. Finally, as the nebula's glow began to soften into a calm shimmer, the alien woman floated gently beside the ship. Her eyes met Ronan's once more, and her lullaby carried a simple, clear note of acknowledgement. It was a silent agreement: she would allow them to continue observing her, learning from her, and helping her understand her own power. Ronan felt a deep sense of purpose. "We have taken the first real step," he said quietly to Myra. "Trust is fragile, but this is the foundation for something extraordinary. Humanity has reached out, and she has reached back." Myra smiled, her eyes reflecting the nebula's glow. "Captain, this is more than survival. This is the moment we show that understanding and patience can turn fear into connection. We are witnessing the first real friendship between human and something truly alien." Ronan looked at the alien woman, her song filling the space around the horizon. He understood that the journey ahead would be challenging. There would be tests, misunderstandings, and dangers. But for the first time, he felt confident that humanity's qualities, curiosity, empathy, and intelligence could guide them through the unknown. The alien woman drifted closer to the observation window, her song soft and melodic. Ronan whispered, "We are here. We will guide you. And we will learn together." Her eyes reflected the nebula's light, and the lullaby carried a note of quiet joy. The first true connection had been made, fragile but real. Ronan knew that humanity had taken a step forward, not just in exploration, but in proving that understanding and trust could bridge the vast gap between worlds. The horizon rested in the nebula, lights flickering in harmony with her song. Captain Ronan and his crew felt a sense of accomplishment and hope. Humanity had met something truly alien, faced the unknown without fear, and reached out with respect. In return, the alien woman had reached back, offering trust, curiosity, and the beginning of a lasting bond. The calm in the nebula was broken by a sudden alert. Captain Ronan stood at the bridge of the horizon, his eyes scanning the sensors. A fleet of human ships had entered the region, moving in formation toward them. The fleet's intentions were clear, they were armed and cautious, scanning the nebula for any sign of danger. "Myra, what do they want?" Ronan asked, his voice calm but firm. "They call her the lethal Siren, Captain," Myra replied. "They believe the alien woman is a threat. They may try to destroy her before we can explain." Ronan's jaw tightened. He had known that word of their discovery would not stay quiet. Human fears and legends traveled fast. "We cannot let them attack. We need to protect her and explain the truth." The alien woman floated near the hull, sensing the approaching ships. Her lullaby shifted, tense and alert. She had not understood humans before, but now she could feel their intent. Ronan noticed her body trembling slightly, not with fear, but with curiosity and confusion. She had not encountered so many humans at once, and the intensity of their energy was overwhelming. Ronan moved to the communication console. "Open a direct channel to the fleet," he ordered. "We need to reason with them before they make a mistake." The fleet responded, demanding that the Siren be neutralized immediately. They were firm, unwilling to risk the lives of future crews. "This being is dangerous," their commander said. "We cannot allow her to continue uncontrolled." Ronan took a deep breath. "We understand your concern," he replied calmly. "But you are mistaken. She is not a threat. Her song is powerful, yes, but she does not intend harm. We have been observing her, and she is learning to control her abilities. She is capable of guiding ships safely, not destroying them." The fleet commander was skeptical. "We cannot take that chance, Captain. Protocol is to neutralize unknown threats." Ronan's eyes met Myra's. They had to act quickly. "Then we will show you," he said. "Watch closely." Ronan turned to the alien woman, raising his hand in a gesture of reassurance. She seemed to understand, and her lullaby shifted, softer and slower, carrying calm and trust. The notes reached the fleet's sensors, subtle but powerful. The ship's crews felt the music in a way they had never experienced. Tension eased. Anger and fear melted into curiosity. The humans were stunned, unable to act aggressively while the song filled their minds. "This is incredible," Myra whispered. "They are feeling her intentions through the melody. They can sense that she does not wish harm." Ronan nodded. "We must maintain the connection. Calm and trust are stronger than force." The alien woman moved closer to the fleet's scanning range, floating gracefully among the nebula gases. Her song expanded, forming patterns of melody that resonated with every ship. The fleet's instruments recorded the song's structure, showing intelligence and emotion. Slowly, the commander began to understand. This being was not a weapon. She was aware, cautious, and willing to cooperate. After several tense minutes, the fleet commander lowered his weapons. "Captain Ronan, explain what you have learned," he said. "We need assurance that she is not a danger to human ships." Ronan gestured toward the alien woman. "She has already learned to modulate her song. We have tested it with our ship and the wreckage nearby. She understands the effect of her melodies and is capable of controlling them. Humanity's strength is in observation, communication, and patience. She is intelligent, aware, and willing to cooperate. She is not a threat, but a guide for this region of space." The commander hesitated, then slowly nodded. "Very well. But we will remain cautious. Any sign of danger, and we will act. You are responsible for her control, Captain." Ronan accepted the challenge. "Understood." We will not fail. As the fleet began to move at a safe distance, the alien woman drifted back toward the horizon. Her song carried relief and curiosity. She had faced many humans at once, a challenge she had never encountered, yet she had remained calm under Ronan's guidance. He realized that she was beginning to trust humans, at least in him and his crew. She is learning quickly, Myra said. She understands humans better than we understand her. Ronan smiled slightly. And that is the key. Understanding is what turns fear into cooperation. This is what humanity can offer in the face of the unknown: observation, empathy, and careful guidance. Over the next few hours, the Horizon and the alien woman demonstrated controlled maneuvers for the fleet. She guided drones through the nebula using her song, avoiding hazards and illustrating her ability to assist rather than endanger. The fleet watched in amazement, seeing firsthand that the being they had called a Siren of Death was capable of protecting life. She is showing them the value of her abilities, Myra said. They are beginning to see her as an ally, not a threat. Ronan nodded. Exactly. This is how we turn legends of fear into stories of cooperation. Humanity's ability to adapt and communicate is powerful. We are proving it now. As the day passed, the fleet withdrew to a safe distance, leaving the Horizon and the alien woman alone in the heart of the nebula. The lullaby returned to its soft, melodic form, no longer tense or alert. The alien woman floated beside the ship, curious and calm, her eyes reflecting the nebula's glowing colors. Ronan watched her and felt a deep sense of accomplishment. Humanity had faced fear and suspicion, yet they had prevailed without violence. By using understanding and patience, they had shown the fleet the truth about this extraordinary being. She trusts us, Myra said quietly. And now, the humans trust her too. This is incredible. Ronan nodded. It is more than that. We have demonstrated what humanity can do in the unknown. We can reach out, understand, and create connections that were thought impossible. This is the essence of our strength. The alien woman floated closer to the observation window, her song soft and melodic. She seemed to sense the relief and pride of the crew. Ronan spoke softly to her, "You have done well. You faced many humans, and you remained calm. You have shown that understanding is stronger than fear." Her song shifted in response, a note of quiet acknowledgement and gratitude. It was a simple moment, yet it carried profound meaning. Trust had been tested and established, and the first step toward cooperation between species had been taken. The Horizon rested in the nebula, lights flickering gently in harmony with her song. Captain Ronan felt a sense of hope. Humanity had reached out to the unknown and found a path forward through patience, intelligence, and empathy. This encounter would be remembered not as a story of fear, but as a moment where humans and a mysterious being had discovered the power of understanding. The lullaby continued, carrying a message of peace and cooperation through the glowing clouds of the nebula. Ronan whispered quietly, "We will protect her. We will guide her. And together, we will show that humanity can turn danger into opportunity and fear into trust." The alien woman's eyes reflected the nebula's light, and her song carried a note of quiet joy. The first real connection between humanity and the legendary Siren had survived the greatest test yet. The nebula glowed softly, its teal and gold clouds moving like waves across the endless darkness of space. Captain Ronan stood on the bridge of the Horizon, watching the alien woman drift gracefully through the mist. Her lullaby filled the ship with calm, a melody that was no longer dangerous but reassuring. She had learned to control her power, and now her song carried the promise of guidance rather than destruction. "She seems more confident now," Myra said, studying the readings. "She is aware of her abilities and how to use them. The interference is gone, and the melodies are stable." Ronan nodded. "She trusts us, and we trust her. That is the key. Now we can begin to explore her full potential and see how she can help us safely navigate this nebula." The crew had spent days learning from her, understanding the patterns in her song, and establishing a system of communication. Now, with trust established, Ronan gave the order to begin testing the alien woman's guidance on the horizon's path through the nebula. Set a course through the denser regions, he instructed. Let her lead. We need to see how precise her control can be. The alien woman responded immediately, her lullaby shifting with intention. Notes of focus and clarity pulsed through the ship, guiding the crew toward the safest paths. The nebula's gases formed swirling walls around them, but her song cut through the chaos like a lighthouse. Drones deployed ahead followed the frequencies of her melody, detecting hazards, unstable energy pockets, and remnants of past wrecks. She is remarkable, Myra said. Her song is guiding us, predicting dangerous currents in the nebula before our instruments even detect them. Ronan smiled. This is what I hoped for. Humanity has reached the unknown, and now we are learning to cooperate with something extraordinary. Our strength lies in understanding, and she is teaching us the value of listening. Hours passed as the horizon followed her guidance. She adjusted her song subtly, each note representing a direction, a caution, or a safe passage. The crew felt an unspoken connection to her intentions, responding almost instinctively to the rhythm of her melodies. Ronan realized that humanity's ability to observe, analyze, and adapt made this possible. Without their patience and empathy, this connection could never have formed. At one point, the sensors picked up a particularly dangerous energy spike, a swirling vortex of plasma that could destroy the ship if approached incorrectly. The alien woman's lullaby intensified, flowing in a complex pattern that guided the ship around the hazard with perfect precision. The crew watched in awe as the vortex passed safely on their starboard side, the nebula's colors reflecting off the ship's hull. She saved us, Myra said quietly. Her song predicted the danger before our instruments even registered it. Ronan nodded, feeling a mix of pride and relief. She is learning, yes, but so are we. Humanity has shown her patience, guidance, and trust. That is why this works. We have earned her cooperation, and now we are partners in exploration. As they moved deeper into the nebula, the alien woman seemed to grow bolder. Her movements became more fluid, and her song carried more information. The crew began to understand her subtle cues. When she repeated a pattern, it meant a hidden obstacle. When she shifted rhythm, it indicated a stable path. The lullaby had become a map, and the alien woman its cartographer. Ronan watched the nebula's clouds swirl around them, fascinated. This is more than guidance, he said. She is showing us the nebula as she experiences it. We are seeing it through her senses, understanding it in a way that no instrument could provide. Myra nodded. It is beautiful, Captain. And it is proof that humanity's strength lies in cooperation. We reach out, and the unknown responds. We face danger, but we also create opportunity. The alien woman led them to a region of the nebula that had been previously uncharted. The colors shifted dramatically, with streaks of gold and teal forming patterns that seemed almost alive. Her song changed accordingly, flowing in a complex harmony that resonated through the horizon. The crew felt as though they were moving through a living painting, each movement of the ship guided by melody and intention. She is showing us more than safe paths, Ronan realized. She is sharing her world with us. Humanity is not just surviving here, we are beginning to understand it, and that understanding is our power. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up another small wreck drifting near their path. This one was less damaged than the others, its hull still mostly intact. Ronan turned to Myra. Prepare to investigate. Let's see if we can recover anything useful and learn more about what happened. The alien woman's song shifted, a note of caution but also encouragement. Ronan understood it as a warning, approach carefully, but she would assist. In zero gravity, he and the crew suited up and moved toward the wreck. Her lullaby guided them, highlighting weak points in the hull and areas of instability. Inside the wreck, they found logs from the crew, recording their journey and their encounter with the nebula. The logs confirmed what Ronan and Myra had suspected: the alien woman's song had unintentionally affected their systems, causing navigation errors and panic. But the logs also revealed the crew's awe at the nebula's beauty, and their brief moments of connection with something extraordinary. Back on the horizon, Ronan reviewed the logs. "This confirms it," he said. "She did not intend harm. She is powerful, yes, but her nature is not violent. Humanity has shown her trust, and now she is returning it with guidance." The alien woman floated beside the ship, her song gentle and melodic. Ronan approached the observation window and spoke softly, "You are helping us. We are learning from you, and we are learning to respect your power. Together, we can make this place safe for others." Her eyes reflected the nebula's glowing colors, and her lullaby carried a note of agreement. It was simple, but full of meaning. Ronan felt a surge of hope. Humanity had taken the first real steps toward turning fear into cooperation, and this alien being had become their guide, protector, and teacher. As the day ended, the horizon rested in the center of the nebula, its lights flickering in harmony with her song. The crew felt a sense of accomplishment and purpose. Humanity had faced the unknown, made contact with something extraordinary, and proven that understanding, patience, and empathy could bridge even the widest gaps between worlds. Ronan looked at the alien woman and whispered, "We will continue to learn from you. And together, we will show what humanity can achieve when we reach out with respect instead of fear." Her lullaby continued, soft and melodic, filling the nebula with light and hope. The journey was far from over, but for the first time, Ronan knew that humanity was not just surviving in the unknown, they were thriving, guided by trust, cooperation, and the extraordinary power of understanding. The nebula glowed like a living sea of teal and gold, swirling around the horizon as if welcoming its human visitors. Captain Ronan stood on the bridge, gazing at the alien woman floating gracefully among the mist. Her lullaby filled the ship, soft and clear, no longer a threat but a melody of trust and guidance. "She has become confident in her control," Myra said quietly, watching the sensors. "Her song now carries more than guidance. It carries understanding, even empathy. She is communicating in ways we are only beginning to comprehend." Ronan nodded. "This is the moment humanity earns its place among the stars. We have faced fear, uncertainty, and danger, and we have proven that understanding and patience can create harmony even in the unknown." The alien woman moved closer to the horizon, her eyes reflecting the nebula's glow. She extended her hands toward the ship, and her lullaby shifted in a pattern that Ronan recognized as an invitation. Slowly, carefully, he reached out to her presence through the observation window. Their connection pulsed through the ship like a wave of energy and emotion. "We are ready to work together," Ronan said softly, "to ensure that this nebula is safe for all travelers. We will listen to you, and you will guide us. Together, we will protect life here." Her song responded, gentle yet powerful, carrying a promise of cooperation. It was clear that she understood their intentions, and she was willing to trust them fully. The horizon hummed with a quiet energy as the crew felt the harmony between human and alien grow stronger. Ronan turned to Myra. "Prepare the fleet. We will show them what cooperation looks like. Humanity can reach the unknown not with weapons, but with understanding." The fleet had remained at a safe distance, cautious after their first encounter. Now, Ronan sent a signal, inviting them to observe. One by one, the human ships approached, scanning the nebula carefully. The alien woman's lullaby extended outward, guiding their sensors and warning them of any unstable pockets of gas or energy. The fleet watched in awe as she led the ships safely through areas that had claimed vessels in the past. "She is incredible," said one fleet officer, speaking over the channel. "Her song predicts and prevents danger. She is more than powerful, she is intelligent, aware, and willing to cooperate. This changes everything we thought we knew about the nebula." Ronan smiled. Yes. And it shows what humanity can do when we approach the unknown with patience and empathy instead of fear. We can turn danger into opportunity and legends of terror into stories of hope. As the fleet moved under her guidance, the alien woman experimented with new melodies. Her song now carried subtle instructions for navigation, energy stabilization, and communication with instruments. The horizon and the fleet followed her effortlessly, marveling at the precision and beauty of her guidance. She is not only guiding us, Myra said, she is teaching us how to perceive the nebula. We are learning from her in ways we never imagined. Ronan nodded. And that is the essence of humanity's strength. We observe, adapt, and learn. We reach out, and the unknown responds. This is what allows us to thrive where others might fear to go. Hours passed as the fleet moved through the nebula under her guidance. No ships were lost, no systems were damaged. The alien woman's song became a symphony of safety and understanding. She had transformed from a mysterious, feared presence into a guardian and teacher. The human crews felt awe, respect, and gratitude for the being they had once called a siren of death. Finally, the horizon and the alien woman reached the heart of the nebula, a vast expanse of swirling gas that glowed like a living tapestry. She paused, her lullaby carrying notes of pride and curiosity. Ronan understood that she was showing them the beauty of her home, revealing not just the dangers but the wonders of the nebula. We have arrived, Ronan said quietly, speaking to his crew and to her. This is what we have worked for, not just survival, but understanding. Humanity and you, together, have created a bond that turns fear into harmony. The alien woman's song shifted, almost like laughter, playful and melodic. It was the first sign of true joy she had expressed since their meeting. Ronan smiled, realizing that she had come to trust not only the crew of the horizon but humanity as a whole. Myra looked at him, eyes shining. Captain, this is history. Humanity has turned a legend of danger into a story of cooperation. We have proven that understanding is stronger than fear. Ronan nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride. Yes, and this is just the beginning. The nebula will be a place where humans and her kind can coexist, explore, and learn from each other. We will show that curiosity, empathy, and intelligence are humanity's greatest strengths. The alien woman drifted closer to the horizon, her lullaby now carrying a calm and melodic rhythm that perfectly harmonized with the ship's systems. It was as if she were part of the vessel, guiding it and sharing her knowledge in real time. The crew marveled at the experience, feeling a connection to something far greater than themselves. Ronan spoke softly to her, "You have shown us the power of understanding. You have helped us see that cooperation can overcome fear. Together, we can protect this place, learn from it, and guide others safely." Her eyes reflected the nebula's light, and her song carried a final note of acknowledgement. It was a simple sound, but full of meaning, a promise that they would work together, human and alien alike, to turn danger into hope and uncertainty into opportunity. As the day ended, the horizon and the fleet rested in the nebula's calm center, bathed in teal and gold light. The alien woman's lullaby filled every corner of the ship, soft, melodic, and serene. Humanity had faced the unknown, met a being of incredible power, and forged a bond that would define the future of exploration. Captain Ronan felt a sense of accomplishment deeper than any he had known. They had survived, yes, but they had also achieved something far greater. They had proven that humanity could reach beyond fear, communicate with the unknown, and create harmony where legends had told only of danger. "We have done more than survive," he whispered to himself. "We have shown that understanding, patience, and trust are our greatest strengths. This is humanity at its finest." The alien woman floated beside the ship, her song a melody of peace and promise. Humanity and the Siren had reached an understanding, a harmony that would guide future travelers and ensure that the nebula was no longer a place of fear, but a place of learning, cooperation, and wonder. As the stars sparkled beyond the nebula, the horizon rested in the calm, and Captain Ronan knew that their journey had changed not only the future of exploration but also the legacy of humanity itself. The lullaby continued, carrying a message across the nebula: fear can be overcome, trust can be earned, and the unknown can become a place of hope. Humanity had reached out. The unknown had responded. And together, they had created a story worth remembering.